Hello everyone, my name is Irene Sukmawati Hoga. You can call me Irene. I am from C class, majoring in communication science. Today I will presenting about verbal and nonverbal communication. Before I start the presentation, I would like to share about our discussion points this time. The first point is the definition and difference between verbal and nonverbal communication. The second point is characteristics between verbal and nonverbal communication. The third point is relationship between verbal and nonverbal communication. And the last point is conclusion. Okay, let's start to the first point, the definition. Verbal communication is the process of transmitting message uses language from the sender of the message or communicator to the recipient of the message or communicant. While nonverbal communication is communication where the message is packaged in a form without words. Next, we move to the difference between verbal and nonverbal communication. The first difference is media used. Verbal communication uses spoken media such as human voice, audio, and written media such as letters, books, chats, email, and etc. Nonverbal communication uses psychical cues such as body language, eye contact, touch, and also wordless vocals such as tone of voice, intonation that shows emotions. The second difference is message persistence. In verbal communication, message can last longer, especially in written or recorded form, making them easy to revisit. In nonverbal communication, messages are usually temporary and exist only in the moment, unless recorded. And the last difference is the function. The function of verbal communication is to explicitly convey information and ideas through words. The function of nonverbal communication is to express emotions, attitudes, and reinforce or complement verbal messages. Next, the second point is the characteristic between verbal and nonverbal communication. We will start from verbal communication. Verbal communication can be delivered orally and in writing. Verbal communication is concise and clear, and also it is easy to understand vocabulary. While in nonverbal communication, it can only be delivered orally. It is automatic and spontaneous, and nonverbal communication expressing emotions. Now we move to the third point, the relationship between verbal and nonverbal communication. In this discussion, I will provide some case example that will help you to understand the relationship between verbal and nonverbal communication. Okay, the first one. When you do a speech, you speak while giving body language in order to convince and make it easier for the audience to understand your point. The second, give an answer without having to speak. For example, you say yes by nodding. And the last is signaling to others about your condition. For example, you say you are fine, but your face shows sadness. So, the people around you can ask you about how is your real condition. And we come to the last part, which is the conclusion. Verbal communication is a communication process that uses words, while nonverbal communication uses body language, eye contact, and facial expressions. Verbal and nonverbal communication are two types of communication that we always use in our daily lives. These two types of communication have different functions, but they are interrelated. This is my presentation. I hope everyone can gain new knowledge through this material. If there is any mistakes and shortcomings in my words when I do my presentation, I apologize. Thank you so much.